everyone, and welcome back to Scheiße Boxes. Today, on this beautiful day, we're going to Birmingham Cars and Coffee in Birmingham. What's the actual name of that?
Parking at Pastiners. They have a Facebook event, or a Facebook group that shows their hours. It's held at Pastiners. They're an auto parts kind of shop down in Birmingham, I believe. So once a week, Saturdays, 8 to 10:30 a.m., people gather down there for a cars and coffee type event. So I think we'll update you when we get there. Sound about right?
Yeah, we're on the way if something weird happens.
Hopefully not, because, you know, I do think we need more video of the SLK breaking down or just having issues.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen because it's never happened before.
We'll
the
see.
SLK doesn't have issues.
Yet.
It doesn't... I think the way that the SLK works is it always threatens to have a very fatal, terrible thing happen to it, and then nothing happens. Like, it has every right at almost 170,000 miles, it has every right that the transmission could blow up right now, but it hasn't.
Well, the way you drive yours, that may be soon. Just like that.
Just like that.
Well, if there's any excitement on the way, I think we will update you. In the meantime, we're going to drive.
What's
NSX?
that
Acura NSX.
Oh, there's an Acura NSX up there. Should we catch it? It looks a lot like a Corvette, really.
It does from the side.
In person, it looks like a, C4?
Yeah, a little bit. I love those door handles too, like the RX-7.
The driver actually looks like a Corvette driver as well.
Do you think he grunts when he sits down?
Yes. But then so do I, so...
Or, well, I guess you're par for the course for buying a Corvette next.
I'm par for the course for CL drivers.
Yeah? Wait, you're a rapper. There was a rap song called CL 500.
Is there really?
Yes, there is.
Why was that not playing? Why didn't you tell me? I would have licensed that.
You never Googled your car?
Huh?
You've never looked up your car under videos?
I've never just typed in CL 500 because I figured nothing would come up.
Okay, what do we got here? It looks like it's a canoe on wheels. Is it an old Bentley or something? It's got a historical plate and it looks to be bike tires on it.
Wait,
here.
Here.
We're gonna...
We'll pass it in a second here.
Yeah, but let's turn the camera that way.
He's got the goggles. He's got that right.
See if you can get a view of it. We'll probably get a better look at that because he's probably going to Cars and Coffee.
I mean, probably. I would imagine so. It smells like old engine.
Yeah, it's definitely burning some oil. Two-stroke, smell like?
I didn't get a two-stroke smell, no. I got just like an old castor oil smell.
It smells like Greenfield Village.
Yes, exactly.
Where do we go?
I don't think we really fit in because we're not exactly like this level of.
There is a Ford Flex right there, so let's look at it that way. We don't know where we're going.
No. We had made it to our first car show, and look at what we'd found. It's British. While everybody wasn't looking at my SLK, they were looking at this. It's Mr. Pastiner's Jeep thing. It's built on a Jeep Wrangler chassis, but otherwise a complete one-off. Really something cool. I mean, not as cool as my SLK, but cool nonetheless. One of the things that surprised me was the sheer diversity of the cars here. I mean, there was literally everything from Japanese imports to Ferraris, old hot rods, anything you can imagine. You can look at cool cars anywhere, really. The owners make the meat. Everyone's here to talk. This is a man we met named Rich. He's the owner of that Porsche 914 in the other lot. He restored the whole interior and gave us some tips on how to make it look good for cheap. To be honest, there was so much more there that day that we didn't get the chance to point the camera at, but we were both left thinking one thing. What an amazing experience. This is my first experience with Cars and Coffee. It's his second, and nothing like that.
Yeah, because really, events like this, in your normal life day to day, you don't really run into car guys unless you work for an automotive company. But really with this, it's the amount of time we've spent talking with guys who are just so knowledgeable about cars, just learning so much about why things are the way they are and how certain things. We learned a lot about, it was a 32 Ford.
Yeah.
He was showing us, and it's just a lot of cool cars in general, really. I mean, you see a couple one-off projects here. Lot of resto mods, which is just, there's so much knowledge going around between people who are talking about what they know and what they've seen and what they've worked on.
Oh, absolutely. I can't stress enough, if you're into cars and you're not really on your local scene, find one of these events, go to it. It is an amazing experience. Today we learned this was actually a small turnout because there was another show at the Fiat Chrysler Museum just down the road. So next weekend we'll be here, and it'll be even bigger.
Which I think next week it's going to be the Paul's CL500 and my 500 SL.
Yeah, because people were showing a lot of interest, especially in your SL, knowing that it was a $1,000 car.
I am gonna have to do a little bit of a write-up on what I've done to the car. Maybe put it on the dashboard and just give everyone the history of the $1,000 R129 Mercedes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And of course, we'll be here if you want to come by and say hi.
Yeah, well, probably next week will be a little bit closer to our cars because Paul is going to bring his star computer, mess around with the suspension a little bit, show that off, the hydraulic and rodeo mode. Mine, I'll probably just be telling stories and just learning as much as I can from those around us.
Speaking of the star system, I know you guys wanted to see that. A couple of you have commented that you wanted to see the ins and outs of the star system, and so there'll be a video on that coming soon. I thought it might be boring. You might think it's boring, but if you don't think it's boring, and I mean, I don't find this stuff boring, but if you find it interesting like I do, then you're gonna have a ball.
And it's, even if you don't have a Star Connect system, I think it'd be quite knowledgeable to watch too, because you really learn how this stuff works and how it communicates with itself inside the car too.
It's really interesting. I'm going into computer science, and it's just learning how all this technology worked back in the 90s and that sort of thing is just interesting to me.
But I'd say all in all, this is a great Saturday.
All in all, it was an amazing experience. And it's nice that it's so early. I like that it's now only 10:45 and we still have the whole rest of our Saturday still. Our recommendation is, if you've never been to a Cars and Coffee, find one and go to it. It will be a blast.
What are you going for?
As it's now raining, a lot of people don't know this, but it's an interesting tidbit about convertibles, or at least this convertible. This can be raining cats and dogs, and if you're on the highway, you will not get wet, which is great for right now when we didn't think to put the top up, even though we knew it was going to rain.
Well, it didn't even start to drizzle a little bit when we left Cars and Coffee.